Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Hope you have learned something from my last two videos on bearings which are there on board ship, in which I have discussed about bearing characteristic numbers and how this helps in bearing design to make it work in hydrodynamic region. Then we have discussed about bearing metals which are used in the industry to manufacture bearings, and at last the different layers which are there on bearing shells and their importance. So if you have not watched these two videos, then you can watch it on my channel page. Now this is my third video on bearings, in which I'll cover special design features which are there which are there on the bearings. So let's begin with the video. Bearing design features. So basically, plain bearings for engineers are manufactured as steel shells with a sliding surface of white metal or tin aluminium, with or without overlayer or flash layer, that we have already seen in my last videos. Tin aluminium bearings are always of thin shell design, while the white metal bearings can either be of thick shell or thin shell design. The bearing surface is furnished with centrally placed oil supply grooves and other design features such as smooth runouts, oil wedges, or bore reliefs. So these are the design features which we'll discuss in detail in upcoming slides. So let's begin. So first design feature is smooth runout of oil grooves. A smooth runout is a transition geometry between the circumferential oil supply grooves and the bearing sliding surface, mostly this region. This special oil groove transition geometry prevents an oil scrapping effect and enhances the hydrodynamic buildup of load carrying oil film towards the loaded area of the bearing. With this feature is used in main bearing and crankpin bearings. This is the cross section of the uh, smooth runout oil groove. You can see this region, the small region, it is cut so that oil can pass through to the loaded part of the bearing. Now second is the bore relief. The bearing sliding surface is machined near the mating face of the upper and the lower shell to create bore relief. So mostly this region, this one and this one, that we can see from this cross section, this region. The main objective is to compensate for misalignment which could result in protruding edge or step for the lower shell mating phase to that of the upper shell. So if this bore relief is not there, then the edge which is formed due to misalignment can act as oil scrapper. So it will disturb in lubrication of the bearing. So bore relief is provided. Such a protruding edge can act as an oil scraper and cause oil starvation. This feature is also there in the main bearing and crankpin bearing. Now third is the axial oil grooves and oil wedges. This feature is there on the crossed bearings. These oil grooves and wedges have following functions. First is to enhance the oil distribution over the load carrying surfaces. The trapped area gives improved oil inlet condition. These grooves are there to meet the hydrodynamic lubrication condition on the crossed bearings, as that of that RPM requirement of the hydrodynamic lubrication is not met by the crossed bearing. So these grooves are provided to help hydrodynamic lubrication, especially in case of crossed bearings, to assess the formation of hydrodynamic oil film between the load carrying surfaces. To provide oil cooling, these grooves also provide oil cooling. In order to perform their functions, oil must flow freely from the lubricating grooves past the oil wedge and into the supporting area where the oil film carries the load. So oil passes in this groove, and from this it gets distributed to these grooves, and from these grooves it is spread to the loaded area and takes the load. Can see from the cross section also. Mostly I'll tell you in upcoming videos where we'll see the where we will see the clearances. So in that I'll tell you what is the importance of these L and 2L, the distance 2L, or when we need to change the bearing, when bearing need to be replaced. What is the, for what value of L bearing need to be replaced. Now this is the fourth bearing feature, which is called crush or nip. This is mostly there in thin shell bearings because they does not have sufficient stiffness to support the load. These thin shell bearings have a wall thickness of around 2 to 2.5% of journal diameter. The steel back does not have sufficient stiffness to support the cast on bearing metal alone. The bearing must therefore be supported rigidly over its full length. So it is supported over its full length. This type of bearing is manufactured with circumferential over length. This is, as you can see, circumferential over length is there. This over length is actually called crush or nip, which when the shell is mounted and tightened up, so when these bolts are tightened up, will produce required radial pressure. It will produce required radial pressure between the shell and the bearing housing, and this radial pressure will keep the bearing fully tight in the bearing housing, and will provide sufficient stiffness to support the load. So these were the special design features of the bearing. Hope you must have learned something new from this video. Now my next video will be on bearing monitoring system. So uh, if you have not subscribed till now, you can subscribe to my channel and keep learning. Thanks, take care and have fun.